Daily Broadside, day 678. So I watched the debate last Thursday, I guess it was, and I couldn't wait. I've been waiting for however many months ago it was announced. It's going to be awesome. The second one's going to be even better if it makes it. If Biden's still running, I guess, because the Dems are trying to unseat him. And really, it's only up to him. He's the only person that can say that can step down. They can't make him at this point. He's got so many delegates and whatnot, and he's kind of like locked in. But I think Jill's driving this train. I don't know what her power trip is, but the inside information is the Biden circle is so like locked in, and the people around it that know that the right thing to do would be for him to step down and let somebody a little bit more cognitively there take over, but they fear saying anything for being kicked out of the nest. You know what I mean? So that's an interesting cycle. But I will say this: here's what I found interesting about the debate. Number one, I was impressed with Trump not being as blowhard, arrogant, and talk over everybody, like he tends to do. He basically, I think he bit his tongue. I think obviously he was told to, because he didn't do that on his own. Somebody must have gotten to him and said, listen, I'm telling you for your own good, do not talk over you. A, they're not going to hear you, you're going to cut your mic off, and B, you're going to look like a fool. So I was impressed that he was able to restrain himself from talking over Biden. That was impressive. And Biden did exactly what I thought Biden would do. Biden did a little bit better than I thought he would, because I thought he would just be a lot more rambling than he was. But here's the thing, right? I just want to talk about the golf for a minute. Biden is nowhere near a 6 or an 8 handicap. He changed his handicap in like 12 seconds there while he was talking, but I don't know if you know anything about golf handicaps. It's kind of hard to describe, because you got to understand like average scores taken in with the course rating, with the slope rating of the course, and all that stuff. And it's just like this mathematical figure. You take it and you like divide it by 113, all this crap. But it's basically a way for me, if I'm Tiger Woods and you're Joe Shit the Rag Man who works at the bus depot downtown and just picked up clubs. It's so that you and I, as best friends, can play golf together and still be somewhat competitive. It's like I give you strokes, you're able to take strokes off your game, so that we can be, equitable and whatnot. It's not used that often, for just fun play. People just mostly go out there, drink beer, and play. But it can be used if you're, more competitive and whatnot. But you got to regularly plug in your scores. But to be a 6 handicap, that means if the par for the course is a 70, that means Biden's going to shoot 76, 78, somewhere around in there every time, okay? I've seen the man hit. Nobody at 81 or however old he is hits the ball far. They just don't. Your strength goes away. Your power goes away. You just can't do that. And to be able to score that close to par on a regular basis is ridiculously difficult if you've got no power. And Trump actually hits it a pretty good ways. My dad my dad was a golf pro, and he played in a tournament with Trump years ago, like in the 90s or something. And he said he's the real deal. Like, he can actually play. He's not, again, Jack Nicklaus or Tiger Woods, but he's a very competent golfer. He's, probably better than a 6 handicap for sure. But I tell you right now, I would love nothing more than watch those two idiots carry their bags around an 18-hole course and play and mic them up the whole time. I want to hear everything. Kind of like, I think it was Phil Mickelson and Tiger Woods did that 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, where they played and they mic'd them up the whole time. They played like 9 holes or something. And I don't know what it was, but that would be fun to watch right there. Just let them talk shit to each other and all that. But I think we would find that Biden is lying once again about his golf game, and Trump, I don't say he's going to be lying. I know he could destroy Biden. He may not be what he was 20 years ago, but he can still hit the ball decent ways. He's got some length on his drive and whatnot, and seems to be a decent golfer. I just think that would be a hilarious thing. But I'm sitting there watching that, and I'm like, this is what we've come to. We've come to arguing about golf, and it's hilarious if it wasn't so sad for our country. I guess 34, 36, $38 trillion in debt isn't as important as your course score on a golf course. And while we're talking about Biden and Trump, think about this. This occurred to me while I was watching the debate. I'm like, Biden and Trump, like, I don't know anybody with those names, right? The only people with Biden and Trump as their surname are other Bidens and Trumps related to these two Biden and Trumps. I mean, think of all our other presidents. You got Lincoln, Carter, Ford, Nixon, Kennedy, Wilson, Adams, Washington, Grant. Even Roosevelt. There's like all the names. Eisenhower's a little weird, but for the most part, I would say like 80% of the names that have been presidents are commonly used names. No one has the name Trump or Biden. What kind of mark of the beast is this, And then I looked it up in Wikipedia, and there was like 1 or 2 people related to either name, and it was like Jerry Trump. He was the king of Scotland from 1832 to 1833. Died of a hemorrhage. And it was like anybody would ever know or remember anything like that. I just find that kind of strange. Not that it really means anything, but it is that. And I'm gonna tell you what, man. If you ever have an old head look at you and say, "Look here, son," or something to that effect, peep up. All right, peep what they're saying, right? Because they're about to drop some knowledge on your ass that you need to hear. More than likely. Don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. That should be when you hear that, look here. What's that? What's that? That's what you need to listen to right there. And I bought some jelly the other day. And they only had like a couple choices. I usually go for like boysenberries and plums and weird flavors and all, but I got strawberry, which there are no really. I don't like orange marmalade because I don't want to eat like pulp and what's that crap when you zest. I don't want zest in my preserves or whatever, but for the most part, I'll eat any other kind there is. And I'll eat orange marmalade if I have to be Paddington Bear, I'll damn well be Paddington Bear, but it's not my first choice. But I was thinking, I was like, as good a fruit as a lime is, and a useful fruit as a lemon is, why is there no lemon jelly or lime jelly? Now, I'm sure somebody out there has made it, because you can boil any kind of fruit down into that. But what's up with that? I bet a lime jelly and peanut butter sandwich would be just delightful. Maybe like a little fluffernutter on there mixed in with it. Yeah, I think you hear what I'm talking about. And I know that there's one thing about cochlear implants, the little thing that magnets to your head that helps people hear. Kind of sucks people got to use those, but I'm glad they also exist. It's not the best looking thing, but hey, it helps you hear. So that's cool. But I will say this. That's a magnet they put in your head, man. And you can do all kinds of cool stuff with that, You can stick a clock radio, a wrench, a can of potted meat, whatever. It's cool bar tricks. It's a cool thing to do. And if you're not doing that as a cochlear implant user, you ain't got to hear all the time. Take that bad boy off and stick something to it and just walk around. And people are like, what the hell? I just think that would be cool. That's what I would do. I don't know. Maybe that's not in good reverence to the hearing aid assistance that it's been giving you, but that's just me. But y'all have a good one, Kitty.